Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hello.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Greetings from Nairobi, Kenya, everybody.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You're welcome. You're welcome. Just seeing, I think we're just about 6. Let's see if we would give a bit more time for some of us to be here. Welcome, Rakhi. Hi, Waneka.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Good evening. Good morning. You're welcome, Priscilla. Hello, Sylvia. Hi, Omokeji. Good afternoon. So I think we can start. I think we're about 31 on the call. So good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
we
so
can.
good
Yes,
afternoon.
we can.
Awesome, awesome. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Depending on where we are calling from and what parts of the continent we are calling from. It's afternoon here in Lagos, Nigeria, and it's a very beautiful weather here. I believe it's the same at our end wherever we are. Happy New Year once again, and thank you so much for joining this call. We appreciate you. We are happy to have you on board with us, and I promise it will be worth your while. So thank you very much. My name is Harriet Obutade Shorunke, and I'm the host for today's digital summit. Thank you very, very much. Before we begin, I would like to introduce the convener, Nwamaka Udenigwe. We've been hearing a lot of people asking, what does Queen of Sales mean? Who is Queen of Sales? What's the vision? What's the mission behind the Queen of Sales? So we have the convener come speak to us about the Queen of Sales, what the mission is, what our vision is, and what we hope to achieve with this platform. Please kindly feel free to drop your LinkedIn URL. It's another opportunity for us to network and meet ourselves here and even after this particular summit to keep learning from each other. So feel free, drop your URL and we can also connect afterwards. Thank you very much. Wanika, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Harriet, for that introduction. Thank you so much. And good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everyone, depending on where you are connecting from. I would like to say thank you so much for taking our time to join this event. This is actually the Queen of Sales Digital Summit, and this is the first time we're having an event outside from our platform on LinkedIn. And it will also be a good time for me to say a very big thank you to a lot of people who have been sharing their thought leadership on our platform, who have been participating in most of our monthly audio event. In case you're not aware, we've been doing monthly audio events on our platform where we share a lot of industry experiences so that those at the new entry level can learn from those who are already at the top. So today's event, I'm actually excited, to be honest. I don't know how you feel, but I'm excited because today we'll have opportunity to sit in the room with other people from different industries across different countries. And I know that I'm not going to leave here the same way I joined this session because I know I'm going to have something to learn. And for those who are guests, I know a lot of people have been asking to, they want to learn more about Queen of Sales, what's Queen of Sales all about, right? So if you're attending an event for the first time or you're coming across this name for the first time, we're actually a global community dedicated to empowering women in sales. Goal is just to help women in sales develop skills, network, share the best practices, and also grow professionally. So if you are here, whether you are in sales or you're not in sales, we want to appreciate you for taking our time to join, for you to learn more about what we do here. And just in case you still have people you invited, they haven't joined yet, I'll really appreciate if you can use this opportunity to reach out to them. Let them know that we've started. We already have 34 people. Here we don't do, our time is our time. We know we're salespeople. We know how much we value our time, okay? So just send them a reminder, let them know we're currently live. And today we're actually going to have opportunity to learn a lot. So back to the event we have, which is building a global sales force. This actually highlights, one of our key commitments, and our commitment is simply fostering leadership and innovation among women in sales. Now, this it's not meant for one person. It's not meant for only Amaka to do. It's not for Harriet. This is actually what we're going to do together. And that's why I say today I'm excited, because we're going to learn from each other. We're going to, steal from each other's wealth of knowledge so that we can be able not just to be better at the workplace, but also to be better as an individual. So our mission is to empower and uplift women in sales through a dynamic and supportive environment. So this is what we want to achieve. So when you hear Queen of Sales Community, I want you to remember that it's a platform where people can go to learn about how they can be able to grow their career, how they can network, and also have access to other thought leaders who are in different industries, who are in different companies in sales industry. But we have our core focus area, and those are core focus areas. The first is us, building a vibrant network of sales professionals. If you go to our LinkedIn page and see activity we did throughout 2024, you will see that we have, days. Okay, let me tell you what our program looked like every month. Every Mondays we spotlight, thought leaders, share some of their insights about what they think about the corporate space, about what is happening in sales, or also in business. So we have other days we share some industry articles. Then some days we also share and spotlight. We have a Queen of Sales Week. So what we do is that we're trying to make sure we showcase all the talent in the industry. We don't want everybody to stop hiding. If what it's A, we want you to bring the A game, right? So that we can learn from each other, let's collaborate. So when you go through our LinkedIn page, you see a lot of activities we've done for the past 1 year. And then this year, which is 2025, we're coming back with even more better activities also. So the second in our focus area is equipping women with the skills they need for them to succeed. Yes, we don't just want to be a community, but we want to be a community where CEOs, founders will want to go to when they want to hire someone in sales. If they want to make an inquiry, right? They want to ask for recommendations. We want to be the go-to-go platform where that will happen, because we make sure that we also nurture what talent within, and also to support women to also excel in leadership roles. So the goal is that when you start your sales career, we should be able to guide you to move from entry level for you to get to your C-suite role. And I'm happy that we also have women who are already even in the positions here, who are going to guide us, who are going to teach us, who are also going to share their experience, what they've done so far for them to get to those positions. So this is why I'm very happy about the event we have today, because we're going to learn. Make sure you have opportunities also to connect with other people who are also here. It's not only women that are here. We also have men who have joined this event today to come and support us, to come and give us our flowers, to also come and celebrate with us, which is interesting. And we really appreciate them also. And they've also extended some of these invitations also to their network to join us today. So what is our vision? Like, we've said a lot of things, right? Yes, just like I mentioned, Queen of Sales is a global platform, and we want to be known as a platform that celebrates the success of women who are in sales. And this is why we want you, when you get a new job, we want you to share it with us. We want to celebrate with you. When your sales team, maybe a new entry person in your team, when she starts doing well, whatever progress she's making, please share this success with us, because we want to celebrate her. We want to, encourage them to keep going to the next level, because this is the motivation we want to give to ourselves. So this is what we want to be known for in our platform. We also facilitate networking across industries and countries. So just in case maybe you are looking for a job opportunity in a particular company, you can also reach out to us, and so that we can go through our database to see if we have women in the industry, so that they can be able to speak for you. But this will happen by the time you go through our mentorship and master classes, which we're also going to launch this year also. Then we also want to serve as a learning hub to advance careers. Yes, we don't just want to be known for women in sales queens, but we also want people to know that this is a place you can also learn how to grow your career. Most times those people, you get distracted. Maybe you're enjoying one or two things and you forget that you actually need to keep growing. There are different levels, right? From entry level to mid-level, from mid-level to the top level, right? So we're going to also make sure that we're guiding our women rightly for them to be able to take these decisions. Then, and the last is also to get more women into the C-suite roles. Yes, this is what we want to do, right? Yes, across all the leadership in the French industry. So now let's look at what we have in stock for you for 2025. I know you've gone through LinkedIn, you've seen a lot of activities happening, but this year we're also taking a very strong move this year. For Q1, we're going to launch our mentorship program. So we're going to drop a link on the chat. Yeah, the link is going to come as a feedback link, but all you need to do there is just fill the link, tell us in what capacity do you want to be part of this community, right? We have a column for to be a member, to be a mentor. Even if your company and your organization want to partner with us, especially for some who are not sales queens, but maybe the sales kings here, maybe you want your company to partner or to sponsor or to collaborate with a community, feel free to also fill the form and tell us in what capacity you also like to come in. Then we're also going to open up application for, we need advisors. And what we'll do is that we're going to have an agency to help us shortlist this, but we'd like you to apply if you're interested. Yes, we want to make this open for you to apply wherever capacity you want to work with our community. Then the second is that we're going to have masterclasses for entry and mid-level in Q2, and also have our first country-specific fiscal meetup. So aside the digital activities, we want to start building, having our meetups in different countries. And we are also opening up for people to apply to become community heads. So whether your country is US, Canada, is Nigeria, is Rwanda, is Uganda, is India, if you think you have the capacity, or you have a friend or a team member that have the capacity to be a community head for those regions, we would like you to also apply using the same feedback form, because the first physical meetup event is going to be in Q2, and it's going to be the same day for everybody. So it's going to be Queen of Sales Day kind of thing. We're going to have a program for the event so that we can know each other aside meeting, digitally. Then Q3, we're going to host master classes, this time for the senior level professionals, and especially those who are targeting to, gain access to, board roles and all that. So, and also build and expand the network of the community heads globally. So based on the meetup we'll have in Q3, in Q2, then we can know how to structure each of the regions. And also now we can be able to officially announce all our community heads in Q3. And Q4, we're launching officially our Queen of Sales website. And at the same time, we're also going to have our annual review and also celebration event. So this is just to give you an idea of what you should expect for the year. But don't forget that now we've opened up for advisors, things can change, things can look better than what we have here. And that's why we're not so much in a hurry to do a lot of things. We're just taking them one step at a time. But we will be so happy to have you all be part of this amazing community, because we're doing all this because you agree with me that there are a lot of gap when it comes to leadership roles, when it comes to women, being in the top leadership roles, especially when it comes to the sales industry. And all this we are doing is to make sure that we get more women to start taking those roles, not just to take the role, but they are also get them to the level of competency to be able to occupy those roles. And that's why, the part of our trainings, the mentorship program, the master classes, all this are going to help us. And we're also going to bring top industry experts. So we also get them to also refer and recommend us for those positions also. So this is just what we aim to build here as a community, because we want every sales queen to be able to, lead and also succeed in the market space also. So I've mentioned most of the places we have opportunities, but just in case you forget, we're looking for sponsors that will work with us. Yes, you're going to showcase your brand, but at the same time also work with women also. Partners who collaborate with us to expand the impact we're building globally, and also volunteers that also help to help our communities in different regions. Then organizations that also want to collaborate with us for events, masterclasses, and also mentorship. So if any of this, right, if you like to participate in any of this as an individual, or as an organization, please feel free to fill the link. We're going to, I don't know if the link is already there in the comment section. So you just, okay, yes, we already have the link there. Please, we'd like you to fill this link, and then we're going to get back to you later. So these are opportunities we need, because for our membership for now, we're not monetizing anything for now in Queen of Sales, because we want to be able to have a proper structure first and know if there is need for it, maybe especially for international conferences and events. So we're really looking forward for those who really want to work or partner with us. So that's all for us, and we've said everything we want to do, right? We believe with all this which we've mentioned, which is mentorship, collaboration, learning opportunities, and with this, Queen of Sales, we're not just building careers, but we're actually building a global sales force for women. And this is actually the theme of our today's event. And I want to welcome all of you to join us. Let's make this dream a success. And thank you again for taking our time to join us today. So I'm going to hand over to our hosts so that we can proceed to the next session of the event. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Ramaka. Thank you so much. I think it's well understood and self-explanatory. Thank you. I will look forward to achieving all of these goals that you've actually we set for Queen of Sales. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please, let's keep it coming. I can see our LinkedIn URL. Kindly post your LinkedIn URL, opportunity for us to network. So we move over to the first keynote speaker. We have two keynote speakers. We have Ebere and we have Rakhi. Rakhi and Ebere, thank you very much for joining us. So we have Ebere. Ebere, please let me, Amaka, can they move to the next slide? I can't see Ebere's intro. So we have our first keynote speaker, Ebere Alexandra. Please kindly get ready to empower the power of technology in sales. Ebere has over 18 years experience in helping businesses achieve explosive growth through strategic tech integration. She shall be sharing practical strategies and tools you can use to transform your sales game. Are you in the tech space and you're also in sales in tech? I think this is a very, very important and valid session you would not want to miss. And for other industry also present, please, let's welcome Ebere Alexandra, the first keynote speaker. Ebere, you have the floor. Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you, Harriet. Thank you very much for the introduction. And then thank you to Wamaka, who spoke earlier. It's a great pleasure to be here with ladies, that are thriving in all their aspects of life, their career and all that. It's a great pleasure to be here for us to share, I would say to share views, right?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
The whole idea is to share and also learn, okay? So I really don't want to waste so much time. I'm going to dive right into it, why we're here today. So when Queen of Sales to be a keynote speaker on this platform, I'm always open to it. I was excited because it's an opportunity to impart knowledge, an opportunity to share experiences. So without much ado, I'll just go right into it. Today, I'm going to be reviewing. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you very well, Ebere. Thank you.
Thank you. Harriet, how many minutes do I have before I proceed?
Okay, you have about 12 minutes.
I wanted to make a special request, Ebere, please.
Okay.
Please, can you permit us to swap, please? Sorry, Rakhi actually have an emergency. and she would like to do her
Okay,
presentation. Please, can you permit us because of
sure.
her timing?
Sure.
Thank you so much. I just saw the message now. I'm so sorry about this, but thank you so much for saying yes, please.
All right, no
Yeah,
worries.
thank you. I
Thank
truly
you so much,
Rakhi,
Ebere.
over
So
to
you come
you.
next.
yeah,
So
please,
Rakhi,
everybody,
over to
please,
you.
just wait for us, okay? Okay, so please, we can now invite Rakhi, please. So sorry about this, Rakhi.
No problem.
Okay, thank you so much. So let me go back to your slide. Sorry. Okay. All right, please go on.
Okay, thank you so much, and apologies, Ebere. We will definitely have you next. Rakhi Voria will be our second. She's supposed to be our second keynote speaker, but we are going to be taking her as it's quite early in her country, and she has an emergency. We are honored to have you today with us. A leader who has transformed sales organization at companies like Microsoft, IBM. Rakhi Voria is the Vice President of Global Sales Development at Procore, and she'll be sharing her experience on elevating women in sales. Rakhi, you're welcome, and you have the floor. Attendees, kindly drop your questions in the chat box because we'll be taking the questions, about 2 questions, and we'll have the rest during Ebere's session as well. Thank you, Rakhi. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. And apologies for that. I think there was some scheduling mix up, but I'm glad that we were able to accommodate this session. Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everyone who's joining us from across the globe. I know most of you are in Africa, but it's an honor to be here today at the Queen of Sales Digital Summit. This is obviously an incredible platform that brings together women in sales to celebrate, learn, and empower each other. And thank you very much to Harriet and all of the organizers who have put together this event. I'm excited to speak about a topic that's near and dear to my heart, and that's elevating women in sales from representation to leadership. So feel free to ask questions throughout the session, but I will speak for most of the time and then happy to answer questions at the end. But let me start with a story of how I ended up in sales, or rather fell into sales, because I'm sure many of you on this call will probably resonate with my story, given that you probably fell into sales yourself. But when I was in graduate school, I had applied to work at Microsoft. And when I had applied to Microsoft, I had actually interviewed for a marketing position. And it was the recruiter who put me in the queue for sales. She said, "Have you ever considered sales? I think you would be really good at it. You listen well. You have a strong track record of success. I think you'd be a great fit for sales because you have the right skills for it and listening skills and all of that." And at the time I had said, well, I don't think I would be good at sales at all. I think I had this visceral reaction and I thought to myself, there's no way I could be successful in sales. It's so aggressive. It's so masculine. I don't have the right personality to be successful in sales. But because I liked Microsoft, I just kind of went with it. And lo and behold, I ended up landing my first job out of graduate school at Microsoft as a licensing sales specialist. And what I learned is that the recruiter was right. All of the things that I was concerned about actually ended up being some of my greatest strengths. I realized that I really enjoyed sales, and I realized that I was actually really good at it. And since then, I've kind of built my entire career around sales. I had roles across Microsoft for many years where I was in sales leadership, and in my last role there, I'd helped them to build a new inside sales team. So it was a new team the company invested in. I was the fourth employee on that team. We hired about 2,000 people in 3 years. So it was really massive growth. Got to help with everything from hiring the first wave of sellers, building out onboarding programs, tools, playbooks, compensation models, a lot of the foundational elements of the team. And then I moved over to IBM, where I had helped them to build and lead a global digital sales team as well. So having helped Microsoft build one, this was a chance to go to IBM, inherit one that already existed, and figure out how to modernize, automate, and take the function to the next level. And then I ended up at Procore Technologies, where I've been leading the global digital sales organization and inside sales rep team. So I'm very passionate about building high-performing sales organizations. I've led large sales teams across 3 global tech companies, but I've learned that in order to have high-performing sales teams, you need a diverse team. And that's diversity of age, thought, background, perspective, and of course, gender. There are many studies that show that women are actually better at sales than men. Research from Gong actually highlighted that women excel in specific high-value sales skills, contributing to their effectiveness. And there was even a study by Kennesaw State University that said that women have an advantage when it comes to forming client relationships, which is really crucial to selling-based environments. So we are actually great at sales, even though sometimes we hold ourselves back from entering the profession. But not only have I built my career in sales, I've also become very passionate about getting more women into sales and diverse candidates in general into the profession. So fast forward several years now that I've built my career in sales, obviously speaking at events around the globe, I also publish articles in Forbes regularly on things like, why do we need more women in sales? Why women should consider roles in sales? How can we retain women once they come into the sales profession? So I'm excited to share some of my insights today and engage with this incredible community as well. But look, like many of you, I mean, it has not always been easy. I think there have been many points in my career where I've often been the only woman in the room, whether it was sales meetings, strategy sessions, leadership discussions. It was clear that even though we sometimes have women in the profession, not many actually have a seat at the decision-making table. And I was fortunate in my career to see some, not many, but some very inspirational women in senior sales leadership positions. But unfortunately, they were few and far between. I think that experience just kind of shaped my perspective and ignited my commitment to not just increasing representation, but also creating pathways for women to lead and thrive in sales. So today, the sales profession is evolving. We know that diverse teams are more innovative, more resilient. We know they deliver better results. But despite the progress that we've made, they still are underrepresented in sales leadership roles. So studies show that women make up about 39% globally of sales, but only 19%, or about 1 in 5 people, hold leadership roles. And when you look at Fortune 500 companies, only 13% of chief sales officer positions are women. So we've made some progress, but still have a long way to go. And I think the challenge is both, a challenge and an opportunity to reshape the landscape by championing women. And it's great to see organizations like Queen of Sales helping to do exactly that. So first, I'm going to talk about what can we do to get more women in the door. And then I'm going to share my thoughts on how can we retain women in sales. And then finally, I'll share some insights on how we move from just representation to actually getting into leadership. So first, when we think about just kind of hiring women into sales roles, we know this can be very challenging. I mean, you heard from my own story, many people can be resistant to being interested in sales in general. Obviously, you all are here today, and so you are passionate about the sales force. But I'm sure if you think back to your story, maybe you didn't naturally get there. It's not something you always dreamed of doing when you were younger, but something you might have fallen into just like myself. But over the years, I've been able to develop some proven strategies that have helped help on this front. And the first is around inclusive hiring practices. So I think the foundation of change really starts with, how do we recruit and hire? So as I mentioned, when I was at Microsoft helping to build the inside sales team, we hired 2,000 people in 3 years. It was massive growth. But what we noticed is that not very many women were applying for our positions, unfortunately. It was a lot of men who had very similar profiles. And so we had to take some actionable steps. And the first thing is we actually redlined the job descriptions. So research shows that words and job postings can be unintentionally deterring to women, or they can be very masculine. So sometimes you see words like hunter or killer instinct, whereas you can change some of those words to focus on things like relationship building or collaboration or problem solving. So I think that's kind of the first place, is really making sure that the language in your job descriptions is appealing to women, because we found in the Microsoft situation that it originally wasn't, and we had to make some changes there. The second is around using diverse interview panels. So I think when you're interviewing candidates, try to make sure that there's always a woman on every interview panel, if you can, because I think that helps to reduce unconscious biases, and it helps make candidates really feel like they can be in your organization. It's kind of that concept. If you can see it, you can be it. And then finally, I think it's around expanding your talent pipeline. This is something that I really focused on at Procore, where we've had rapid growth and therefore have had to hire pretty aggressively for sellers around the globe. And not only, is it hard to get women to go into sales, but when you layer in the fact that Procore is a technology company, layer in the fact that we support the construction industry, it's kind of this trifecta of three things that women aren't interested in: sales, tech, construction. So again, you have to be extra intentional about how and where you find that talent. And that requires outreach. And so I have found that recruiting from non-traditional places can be really, really valuable, for example. So, I look for candidates in industries where women are well represented. And I found that some of the best sales hires that I've ever made have come from places like military, teachers, hospitality workers, retail stores, things like that. And so I think, engaging with those types of organizations and people will really help you expand your talent pool versus just looking for people who have technology sales or sales experience. And I think one way that we've been able to do that is we engaged with colleges, universities, organizations like this one that are focused on women in sales and getting women into some of those professions. That really has allowed us to reach some diverse talent pools. One thing that I actually saw really boost our response rates when we were reaching out to female candidates is me personally reaching out to them. I think, as a female leader, vice president of an organization, it really helps to get a note from an executive level woman. And so I would send a note to some of the candidates, or the recruiters would on my behalf, and it would say, "Hi, I'm Rakhi Voria. I'm leading so-and-so team. I'm very passionate about diversity in sales. Here are some links to some articles that I've published on why this is important to me. Would love for you to join the organization." And so adding that personal touch has also really helped and kind of puts a face to a name. So those are some of the practical tips that people can think about to get more women into the organization. But now that we've discussed kind of gender representation, let's shift gears and discuss a little bit more, representation to leadership, I think. So I believe this journey really rests on three key pillars. And the first is mentorship and sponsorship. The second is building a culture of inclusion. And the first is developing leadership competencies. So when you think about the first one as it relates to mentorship and sponsorship, I'm sure we're going to be talking about that throughout today's session on Queen of Sales. But mentorship is really around guidance, whereas sponsorship is about advocacy. So they are two different things, and it's really critical to have both for women. I once heard the phrase, mentors advise, but sponsors act. And I think women need mentors who can obviously provide those insights and advice, but they also need sponsors who are going to actually advocate for them in rooms that they're not always in. So, there's data from the LinkedIn survey, which shows that 82% of women in sales believe that having a mentor is really critical to their success, but only 63% of them have access to one. And so as leaders, we must identify and uplift high potential women and connect them to opportunities that align with their strengths and aspirations. The second piece that I mentioned was really around building a culture of inclusion. Representation obviously starts with hiring, but inclusion actually ensures that we have retention and growth within a company, because there's no point getting women in the door if we don't have environments that are fostered where they can actually thrive and succeed and build their careers. So companies really need to create environments where women feel seen, where they feel heard, where they feel valued. And that means addressing some of our unconscious biases that we sometimes have, like offering flexible work arrangements or ensuring equal access to training and career advancement opportunities. But according to McKinsey's Women in the Workplace report, women are actually 1.5 times more likely to men to leave their roles due to lack of flexibility or lack of support from management than men are. So inclusion isn't just a one-time initiative, it's really a continuous effort to foster belonging. And then the third piece I mentioned is around developing leadership competencies. So, leadership isn't about holding a title, it's about influencing outcomes, inspiring others, and driving change. I always tell everybody, no matter where they are in the organization, whether they're an entry-level salesperson or an executive vice president, everybody is a leader. Everybody's kind of the CEO of the mini organization that they're involved with. You don't have to have people reporting to you. You don't have to have the title. You just have to be demonstrating leadership capabilities. And so I think it's really important for women in sales to be cultivating competencies that are the hard skills. So we hear a lot about women developing the soft skills like mentorship and networking and confidence, but it's equally important to develop hard skills, things around business strategy and financial acumen and strategic thinking and executive presence, because that's really what's going to help you succeed. And I think this is where the power of ERGs, or employee resource groups, come in. So at all three companies, Microsoft, IBM, Procore, I have always been involved in employee resource groups. So most recently, the Women at Procore group, where I've been the executive sponsor for many years. And basically, I think this is a great way to meet like-minded women, share opportunities, challenges that you're facing, but also learn some really important competencies and skills throughout the way. So if your organizations have women's groups, I would highly encourage you to get involved. And if they don't, I would highly encourage you to start one. There's a lot of information out there on how you can go ahead and get started. And I'm also happy to personally chat with anybody who wants some help on that front. But overall, there is some research from Gartner, which highlights that organizations with robust leadership development programs, especially ones for women, are 1.5 times more likely to have women in senior leadership roles. So the studies actually do show the more you invest in this, the more you will have women in leadership, which is very important. So very important to kind of, invest in those programs to develop future leaders. And we need to kind of normalize seeing women lead large accounts, negotiate complex deals, manage high-performing teams, all of those important things. So I am coming toward the end of the keynote. So I do want to remind people again, you can start to put some questions in the IM window. But in the meantime, the thing that I also wanted to address is you, obviously, the women in sales that are listening to this. Because whether you are just starting out or you're an experienced professional, I want to encourage you to claim your seat at the table. That means speaking up in meetings. It means advocating for yourself, not shying away from opportunities that challenge you, because leadership is not all about having and learn to adapt and to inspire others. And even on days where you have imposter syndrome, and trust me, we all do, myself included, it's very normal to feel imposter syndrome once in a while, where you feel like, maybe you are an imposter, or you shouldn't have a seat at the table, or you don't have the skills, or you don't deserve to be in a certain position that you're in. You have to stop and remind yourself that somewhere somebody believed that you did. And so you have to take advantage of that opportunity that you have and find your voice. That's the most important thing, I think, as a woman in sales. And then finally, to the allies in the audience, your role is very, very critical too. My ask is that you advocate for the women on your teams and challenge biases when you see them. And remember, equity isn't just a women's issue, it's really a business imperative. We know that diverse teams produce better business results. So the more women you have in sales, the better off your organization will be. So, before I close, I want to address an important point, given that most of you are obviously tuning in from Africa. And I know that women in Africa in particular face some unique challenges and opportunities in the sales profession. I recently saw that there was a report by the African Development Bank, and women-led businesses account for about 30% of all businesses on the continent. But I've heard that obviously, they struggle with getting access to resources and networks. And so I think by creating regional networks of mentorship, sponsorship, community, and by amplifying the voices of women in sales across the African continent, we can really unlock enormous potential and drive economic growth. So once again, big thank you to the Queen of Sales organization for doing exactly that. Very inspired to be involved and participating with you. But I do want to leave you all with a vision. Imagine a world where sales teams at every level reflect the diversity of customers that they serve. Imagine organizations where women not only represent, but lead. They shape strategies and they drive success. That's the world that I'm working toward. I know that's the world that Queen of Sales is working toward. And I think each of us has a key role that we can play in making that a reality. So thank you for allowing me to share this time with you today. Let's continue to elevate women in sales from representation to leadership and build a future where every woman's potential is realized in sales. I think the journey starts now and it starts with us. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Rakhi. Wow, that was amazing. At least I got improving inclusion, cultivating confidence, developing hard skills and not just soft skills, particularly executives' presence and business strategy. Claiming your seat at the table as a female or as a woman in sales and some other points noted. Thank you very much, Rakhi. I'm sure it was worth the while, and I'm sure everyone got one or two things from what you just shared with us. We have a question on the chat. Then immediately after, Ebere comes up. What should be your Salesforce requirements to excel in digital marketing on a global scale? And Rakhi, I think this question is for you. Then we move over to Ebere as soon as you are done with this question. Rakhi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes,
Okay.
great question. I think there's a number of different things that you can do, I guess, to excel in digital marketing on a global scale. I would say the first one is having kind of deep cultural and market understanding. So, I think the way you do business in Africa is probably different than the way you do business in South America or North America, et cetera, obviously. And so I think having some training on the cultural nuances and the buyer behaviors in each different market is really critical because there's no one size fits all option. So you'll have to have some sort of understanding of localized messaging, regulatory knowledge. But the other piece is around trying to make decisions around data. So ideally having proficiency in things like customer relationship management or CRM tools, or really understanding that aspect of things. And then collaboration with marketing teams, obviously. It's really important for sales and marketing to have clear alignment on campaigns and understand the goals, messaging, the nurturing opportunities, as well as the feedback loops to make sure that there's tight partnership between marketing and sales.
All right. Thank you so much, Rakhi. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know, please, if we have any questions, kindly use the raise out icon on the raise hand icon, and you can actually ask. We have another question here. Rakhi, if you don't mind, what is your top 3 hacks for closing enterprise deals?
Sorry, say that again.
What is your top 3 hacks for closing an enterprise deal?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Yes, I think, the first thing is obviously you have to build a strong business case that's aligned with the customer's goals. So I think it's, oftentimes with enterprise deals, they end up being a lot longer sales cycles. And so you can get a little impatient and you want things to be moving very, very quickly, but very important to be patient, first of all. So I would say strong business case, understanding the customer's pain points, quantifying the ROI for them. That would be the first thing. The second hack is probably you have to engage all of the different stakeholders. So in an enterprise account, there's a lot of different decision makers I've found. So it's not just one person who can kind of close the deal. You have to really build consensus and leverage champions across different parts of the organization. And then the third thing I would say is probably just creating urgency. So I know that kind of goes against what I originally said around being patient, but it is very important to establish timelines. That helps kind of create a sense of urgency by tying your solutions to upcoming budget cycles or business risks or mitigating some of their risks. And then, you can even use a compelling offer like a promotion or something to help close the deal where it makes sense. So hope that helps.
Okay. Thank you so much, Rakhi. I can't see any hands up. We can take one more question. Any other question? I can't see anyone raising their hands. Any other question for Rakhi, or otherwise we move to the fireside chat at the end of any more question. Kindly engage the chat, and I'm sure we'll take it up as well by the end of the session. Thank you so much, Rakhi. This, for me, I think this is just very, very amazing. I equally just set down some points as well. Thank you, Rakhi, and we are
Thank
very
you all.
happy. Thank you so
Take
much.
care and look forward to keeping in touch with this community. Thank you.
Of course. Please kindly drop your LinkedIn URL so we could connect with you as well. Thank you. So we move over to Ebere Alexandra. We are very sorry, and it was because of the emergency from Raki's end. Thank you so much. So Ebere has over 18 years experience in helping businesses achieve explosive growth, emphasis on explosive, through strategic tech integration. And here she'll be sharing practical strategies and tools you can use to transform your sales game. Welcome, Ebere. You have the floor. Please kindly engage the chat attendees and put down your chat, your questions, comments, observations, and as we move on. Thank you very much. Ebere, you're welcome once again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Harriet. Thank you, Rakhi. That was really insightful. I'm glad that there is a movement to ensure that women, come in more into sales, right? So as Rakhi was speaking, when she spoke about, using to ensure that you have those soft skills as well. So apart from having the hard skills, which is very, very key when you're in sales. Thank you again for this platform, encouraging women in sales. And it's quite interesting to note that the platform is growing. The first time forum like this on Queen of Sales, it hadn't grown to this magnitude. So it's really something I'm proud of to be a part of, right? So today, I will be speaking about how can we leverage technology, to ensure that we have success in our sales in a global market. Okay, I work with InterSwitch. I don't know how many of you know InterSwitch. InterSwitch, it's an indigenous Nigerian global company that we try to help we try to help our partners, grow their businesses through payment processing, online payment, financial services. Most financial institutions in Nigeria, even beyond Nigeria, now we're going global, we're going cross-border. We also help them to ensure that their financial services and their online payment processing is well taken care of. So I'm going to be speaking today on how we can leverage on technology, to ensure we make a success of our sales journey. I'll just dive right into the presentation. So what is technology really? Right? What is technology? And when you're talking about technology in sales will refer to the use of digital tools, platforms, and software to enhance, automate, and of course, streamline the sales process. It encompasses a lot of solutions, right? So as a salesperson, you need to ensure that your processes are streamlined in such a way that you have enough room to engage your customers, you have enough room to actually focus on the most important thing, being growing your relationships, right? Then of course, it helps you to gain data-driven insights. All right. Also, at the same time, by the time you put all this into play, it increases your efficiency and, of course, productivity. Going forward, I'd like to look at what is the role today, what we say the role of technology is in sales, right? Technology has changed the way the sales landscape it's totally different from what it used to be years ago. It has transformed the way businesses interact with customers, manage relationship. Technology plays a vital role in sales using different tools. I would like to talk about some of these tools that enable success. Rakhi mentioned a bit of it when she made mention of the CRM. The CRM system, you cannot do away with it when you're in the sales field. In fact, even beyond sales, CRM, which means your customer relationship management system, it automates your routine task. I know she made mention of a research that Gong did. Gong is also one of those tools that is a company that uses their tools to automate routine tasks, to reduce your costs, because some things that ordinarily you would waste time, trying to follow up with this customer. Okay, which customer did I speak to today? Oh, let me follow up. Oh, I've forgotten which one that I followed up with the other day. But this one, automatically, it will ensure that your efficiency, operational efficiency, it's top notch. It minimizes your manual errors. It optimizes your resource allocation. And of course, you talk about data entry. You have your meetings. Of course, we're all sales, most of us here, I want to believe, or if not all, we're all sales people, right? You have this meeting, you come back, you have to impute your data into the system. By the time you do that, it helps to, at the end of the day, you can use it for your data analytics in order to ensure that you are top of mind for your customers. Then now, when you talk about technology, you cannot, in sales, you talk about lead generation. I love when you talk about lead generation, because sales doesn't just happen like that. You have to start from your lead generation. You have prospects, you have referrals, you generate those leads, but those leads have to be qualified. You also don't want to waste your time, jumping from one place to the other because you want to meet your target as a salesperson. You have to ensure that the leads that you have generated are qualified. So your CRM tool can also help you to say, okay, oh, at the beginning of this nurturing, at the beginning of this sales lead that you have gotten, you have the first part of it might be at the 30%, it might be at the initial stage, develop stage, it keeps graduating that way to your negotiation stage. It helps you to qualify your lead. Once you have generated this lead, it's very, very important. We always have your pipeline, right? This is very key, to ensure you qualify your leads adequately. Then we talk about follow-up emails and communications, automated email campaigns. She made mention, or Rakhi mentioned a bit of it when you talk about your campaigns, working with marketing. You need to ensure that it aligns with what the business. Automated email campaigns can help you nurture your leads. It will keep your customers engaged. Those emails that you get so if you want to shop online, it will tell you, sometimes it's optional, put in your email. And then before you know it, you're getting this automated emails telling you, okay, this is available now, we can do this for you now, these are our solutions, things like that. Technology drives most of it, and it helps us to nurture our customers and ensure that we have conversion of these leads. Because really, at the end of the day, if you're not converting your leads, we're going to speak about it in as I go on. It's really the crux of being a salesperson, closing your deals, making sure that you convert your leads, right? And of course, the next one will be your predictive analytics. Predictive analytics, it's so important when it comes to sales, right? It helps you to predict your customer churn. So in my company today, there's something we do. We use our BI tools. So some of the tools that we use, the Power BI tools, you'll be able to generate some of this data to see, okay, this set of customers, you can even get data like my top 20 or my top 10 customers. How are they doing? To give you the health of your customers. Yeah, you'll be able to say, this customer has, let me say, for example, has bought into a particular solution, let's say bill payments. Let me talk about financial institutions. You talk about bill payments. This bill payment this customer has, but I can see that beginning from this month to last month, I can see that they did so much better in the last quarter, but this the previous quarter, prior quarter to that, things were not as it used to be. And then you can see, oh, it's coming down. You'll be able to predict and say, oh, I can advise my customer this churn. You'll be able to, you know, be proactive about ensuring that your churn rate is minimized as much as possible. Now, technology also helps us to personalize customer experiences. You know, I spoke earlier about understanding your customer needs. It's important for sales team. You need to understand your customer's need. For you to be able to do that, it helps when you do your customer segmentation and profiling. You can't just put all your customers in one bucket and think you get the best out of them. So there are some customers you can say, oh, these are their preferences, these are their needs. Customers' behaviors, they usually, you know, in time have an idea of what their preferences will be. And of course, sometimes their preferences change. So you have to, as well, also be on top of your game. And when you use technology, when you use this CRM, you know, and your sales team use it to tailor their approach to customers, individual customers, it will increase the likelihood of conversion. You know, so in sales, when you talk about your pipeline, you nurture your leads from the beginning through the development stage to the negotiation to when you eventually close the deal. That conversion is very key. And you can achieve this through when you have personalized content and messaging. So when you analyze your customers, you can easily say, oh, this is what this particular customer will want. So when you're selling, you'll be able to say, this is what he has capacity for. You're not just selling because you want to sell, all right? Then, of course, you have the omni-channel engagement through technology. It has made it so easy for most businesses, be it SME, small business, big business, you know, the giants. Omni-channel engagements cannot be done without, right? What do I mean? Omni-channel, I want to believe we know what it means, is basically having options, different options, an array of options to engage your customers. It can be through social media, it can be email, phone, virtual, you know, as much as possible, you have different ways of engaging your customers. It's very key. And in doing this, it helps when you've streamlined your processes, your sales team or as a salesperson, you're now able to focus on high value activities such as building those relationships. Because if you're running around trying to do the mundane task of, instead of automating those processes, those tasks, you might find out that you're not really nurturing those relationships that you've closed, that you've onboarded, right? So this helps you to build those relationships, identify new opportunities, and of course, drive revenue growth. I'd like to talk about benefits of technology in sales. You know, when we embrace technology, embracing technology goes a long way to ensure we get to, I like saying, get to the permanent sites, get to where the focus of the organization is, which is boost revenue growth. We can speak from today to tomorrow, all businesses, the whole idea for all businesses to thrive, to grow, is for them to grow their revenue, is to keep growing and expanding. So by identifying your opportunities, you will build a robust pipeline. When your pipeline isn't, well, let me use the word, isn't as robust as it should be, because when you have a robust pipeline, you have different, different leads, different stages of talking to your customers. You know, you're trying to close those deals as much as possible. You have to make it as robust as much as possible, so that some of them might end up not being converted. Some of them they might drop by the wayside. Some of them might change their mind for different reasons, right? So you have to ensure that you have a robust pipeline so you improve your conversion rates and enhance customer satisfaction. Now, you can't talk about benefits of technology in sales without talking about how it will help to enhance your customer loyalty. Okay, through personalized engagement, timely responses, which is really all about ethics. I've seen cases of some team members or some people, you send an email or they receive emails from customers and you don't respond on time. Come on. At the Switch, there's something we say, we go by the rule, doing the right thing on time the first time. You have to, at every point in time, your customer, even if you don't have the right information at any point in time, get back to your customer, respond to your customer, give the customer, oh, I'm working on it. Let them feel that, oh, yes, you see them, you feel their pain, you will get back to them and things like that. Or even if it has to do with questions or maybe proposals you've sent in, keep in touch, be top of mind is very key. And of course, technology helps us gain competitive advantage, right? I'm going to give an example when you talk about competitive advantage, because it's really leveraging on innovative technologies. So recently, CBN, Central Bank of Nigeria, discontinued a certain solution for MFBs, so microfinance banks, right, across the country. So this solution was a solution that came up that CBN came up with to help MFBs access, some of these solutions, for example, core banking applications, that most times they wouldn't have been able to afford it. They don't have the capacity to afford it. So they made it in such a way that the pricing is quite flexible, right? They just discontinued it towards the end of 2024. But fortunately for us at the Switch, InterSwitch, we had actually innovated a solution. We had preempted that there will be need for this, that innovation. We had built what we call our own CBA. We had partnered with some of our partners. We collaborated with some of our partners to build what we call the core banking application. So right now, that gap will be filled without us now having to start running around to say, oh, how do we, tap into this opportunity that has come up? So it helps you gain a competitive advantage. At the same time, you can forecast, it will help you analyze data, identify patterns, and of course, predict future sales performance. In all of this, I always say there's a pattern, there's a pattern to the madness, like some people will say. We would like to say, let's look at strategies, because in all of this, you have to sit down and strategize. How do you want to achieve your company objective, grow your revenue and all that as a sales person, right? So these strategies for leveraging technology in sales, you have to align your sales strategy first and foremost with your business objectives. It's very important so that you avoid putting square pegs in round holes, right? You have to ensure that you align. This alignment will drive revenue growth, increase efficiency, and achieve overall business success. You need to understand your business objective, review your company goals, familiarize yourself, so that if the organization is saying, oh, we want to achieve maybe $2 billion or 2 billion or 3 billion naira in the next by the next quarter of next year, how are you as a salesperson, how are you going to be part of those that will make sure that that is achieved? So you have to ensure that your sales strategy aligns with the business objective. So you have to review your company goals, familiarize yourself, what is the overall mission, vision, and objective of your organization. You have to develop a sales vision. When they talk about vision board and all that, you too as a salesperson, do your own vision board as a salesperson. Create a sales vision statement that aligns. Remember, we're talking about alignment here with your company's mission and objective. So while you have done that, you have to set your sales objective. How do you do this? We all know when you're talking about it has to be measurable. You talk about SMART, right? When you talk about SMART, objective is specific, it has to be measurable, it has to be achievable. Don't set objectives that is something where you are, the kind of product and services you offer is totally different from what your customers are looking for. No, it has to be achievable, it has to be relevant to your customers, to where you find yourself, who and where you are selling to. So that is very important. And then you have to also consider you have to define your sales strategies. How do you want to go about it? Are we going to focus on, so by the time you finish your profiling, your segmentation, do you want to focus on account-based selling? Do you want to focus on maybe inbound or outbound selling? You have to sales. You have to always at every point in time ensure that you define this is how we want to go about it. It's not enough to just say, oh, this strategy, we intend to close to so and so deals. How do you want to achieve it? Identify your sales strategy. Identify your sales tactics. Are you going to use content? Like Rakhi said earlier, partnering with the marketing team, right? Marketing, branding, how are we going to reach out to our customers? Content marketing, is it sales automation, support sales strategy? Are we going to do social selling? Are we going to put billboards? Ensure that you have that alignment with the marketing team as well. So when you talk about technology in sales, data is the crux, is the life of sales, closing your sales. When you have real-time data, when you're able to analyze and drill down on the data that is at your fingertips, so how are you going to use data to ensure that you close out, that you ensure that you align with the business objectives like we had mentioned? You have to use data-driven insights. This will help you to, make informed sales decisions. Now you ask yourself, where do you get this data? Data. How do we access this data? I mentioned it before. CRM, your CRM is spilling over with data because that is where you impute all your interactions with your customers, even if it's automated. So it helps you to analyze the interactions, sales history. I'd mentioned pipeline activity as well. So you can extract data from your CRM system. Also, it will, when you've automated your sales, you will be able to leverage, sales. You can say, oh, you can get data from your email open rates or maybe response rates from your customers. By the time you dive in and analyze the data you have, there you can extract data that will help you make some decisions, that will benefit the company and at the same time the customer. There's a particular one that I really love when you talk about customer feedback and surveys. You can't help but try to carry out surveys periodically. You need to get feedback from your customer. There's something we say in sales. When you have a customer that complains, that customer loves you. The worst customer is a customer that doesn't say anything and just disappears. You won't even know customer has moved on to your competitor. We move on to competition. So feedback survey is very, very key. It will help you to understand your customer needs, their preferences, their pain points. So you are proactive. You're not reactive. You're proactive to say, oh, okay, this is what my customers are saying. So that is very key as well. So I've spoken about predicting your customer churn. So with data-driven insights, you'll be able to predict your customer, predict the churn of if your customers are at risk to, stop maybe using a certain solution. You can actually say, okay, if they are no longer using this solution, or maybe it has dropped, it has declined, you have a meeting or call a meeting with a customer, you find out, but it's always good that you know how data can be analyzed and help you be proactive. That's one thing I love about using data, right? You're not waiting until when everything is flat out, customer has moved on, and then you start running helter-skelter. No, that is not how we're supposed to. So for you to use data to make informed sales decisions, you have to prioritize your leads. You have to prioritize your leads so that you're sure that you know the ones that are likely to convert, ensuring your sales team or you as a salesperson, you focus on all those high value opportunities. You need to measure your sales performance. It will help you measure your sales performance. You will now know, okay, these are the places where I need to identify for improvement, optimization, as the case may be. Then, you know, when you talk about personalization, it's very key. I keep hammering on that. Personalization is very important. So if you remember when I said, don't put square pegs in round holes, you want to avoid that. You know, personalization will ensure you target specific accounts. You know, when Rakhi said, you know, those decision makers, those stakeholders, you have to know those stakeholders from point A to point C, not even B. Right? You need to ensure, when you use data, it will help you to target those specific accounts, those specific decision makers with personalized content and messaging. So I have an example. Recently, InterSwitch came up with a training for executives, you know, bank executives, and we were to send out, the team would send out emails to them, you know, inviting them for this training. Some team members did, you know, how some people will just do blind copy and send a generalized mail, dear esteemed customer. No, you don't do things like that. There are some certain people that you have, it's very important. That personalization is key. By the time you say, oh, Mrs. Harriet, we are pleased to invite you to, you know, the person feels, oh, okay, you have an idea of what I'm looking at. You have an idea of, you have me top of mind. And that personalization will make sure that, oh, okay, they will likely respond to you. That conversion, you know, that personalization, you're reaching out one-on-one, and you're not doing a generalized email or messaging. No, that will not help you move your needle from point A to B or C, as the case may be. Then you talk about predictive analysis. I'd mentioned that before. So in all of this, the benefits is your customer loyalty increases, you have a competitive differentiation, and of course, you improve your conversion rate. In fact, study has shown that personalization can increase your conversion rate up to 20%, as customers are likely to respond more to tailored messaging. Okay, so I have some case studies. You know, while I was getting ready for this, I actually checked out some of the, you know, well-known case studies. You have Amazon. Everybody knows Amazon. They were one of the people that really started, you know, e-commerce on a big scale. Right? They analyze their customers' behavior by their purchase history, and then they create targeted campaigns that resonate with individual customers. By the time you're buying on Amazon, say, for example, you're purchasing maybe a green dress. By the time you're about to check out, you see suggestions. Oh, that customer's also checked. You will see golden shoe. You will see a very nice, you know, belt to go with it and things like that. So there's this predictive thing about using marketing automation. So Amazon has, you know, done that to a part down. Another one, if you subscribe to this music channels, you will know that they use artificial intelligence to offer personalized music recommendations. So by the time you're listening to things like classical music, before one finishes, it suggests other classical songs, music for you to listen to, and vice versa. So that artificial intelligence, you can't help but use technology to drive your sales. You can't help but do that, you know. And then bringing it home, we have Jumia. Jumia, Jumia Nigeria, Konga. These were the first e-commerce companies then that came into Nigeria. They've made it easy. They were one of the largest e-commerce companies. One of the largest e-commerce companies to make e-commerce popular. They made sure, is it logistics, is it competitive pricing? At the comfort of your room, you can order for stuff. So it made it a whole lot easier for people to be able to shop. So those are some of the case studies I came across. So in conclusion, I will say leveraging technology for sales in a global market, we can't help but acknowledge that the landscape, the ever-changing landscape of the sales stratosphere. There's increased globalization. A lot of businesses are expanding beyond, across borders. So we're not just sitting down within our Nigeria or India or wherever you are. It's a global world now. Then there's rising competition, there's advances in technology, and you're trying to get used to AI. It's the pace at which it's growing. You just have to, try to keep pace with it, right? So those are part of the challenges. Shifting customer behaviors. Customers will always increasingly, change what they want. So you have to, be informed at every point in time, stay connected, empowered, driving changes in sales strategies with your customers. Maintain relationship. You need to maintain your customer relationship, build and maintain strong relationship with your customer, because it's crucial. It's a fast-paced changing global market. So you have to be top of mind with your customers. You need to stay ahead of competition, manage your data and analytics, adapt to the Internet of Things, which I mentioned earlier. And finally, you need to maintain a customer-centric approach. Sales teams must prioritize customer needs. No matter what it is you're selling, you need to understand what the customer needs. It's not what you want to sell. No, yes, it's good. You need to identify your customer needs, their preferences. It will drive loyalty and, of course, growth and, of course, revenue. So from all I've said so far, we can agree that technology is the glue, is the spice, is the driving force that enables a sales executive to keep killing it, irrespective of your industry, right? It keeps you top of mind with your customers, now ensuring revenue growth and customer satisfaction. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ebere. Thank you very much. At this junction, I would like us, we have some questions. We have Parishit. Please, he has a question. I think he raised his hand the last time. So you have the floor. Ebere, we have a question from Parishit Shrivedi.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you, Harriet. Excellent presentation, Ebere.
Thank you.
And very insightful. You see, after I've seen both the analog era and the digital era, and the digital era has rapidly evolved last 2 years. And fortunately or unfortunately, I gave up employment 2 years ago and went into consultancy. So my question to you, Ebere, have I pronounced your name correctly?
Yes, yes, you did.
I'm very particular about that. In the sales function, it's very important.
Yes. Yes.
So you mentioned about feedback and data-driven CRM systems and analysis.
Yes.
Can you give some platform names like feedback? Usually I conduct soft skills training sessions for professionals from supervisory level to departmental head levels. I use Google Forms as a feedback to my training sessions. So you mentioned about feedback being very important. It helps us as sales professionals to strategize further and give customer excellence. Can you suggest a few tools?
Okay, so a few tools for feedback. I just want to be sure I understand your questions.
Yes, feedback, Ebere. Some examples of feedback platforms.
Like Google Form
tools.
is the feedback. So what other
Yeah,
any other
feedback
technology?
tools,
Any
other
other better?
technological tools in terms of feedback, giving feedback, maybe.
Okay, so there's a HubSpot. I mentioned Gong. So Gong, InterSwitch is actually we had a meeting with them and they're very top notch. You can actually research that. And then of course the HubSpot I had mentioned. But apart from that, yes, when you talk about technology, stage, I said, see, it's also very important for us to know that, yes, these technology tools are key, right? But you also have to imbibe it with the individual touch. Okay, so you have this HubSpot, you have this Gong, you have the other feedback tools as well. But how are you going to give that feedback apart from getting it automated? You also have to align at the same time with the individual touch. So yes, those are a few of the ones that we use currently that I'm conversant with.
Let's kindly mute our mic, please. We are not.
Yeah, somebody has to
There's also
mute the mic. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, someone has also mentioned Zoho as well, which fits into CRM as well. Yeah.
Thank you very much, keynote
Thank
speaker.
you, Ebere.
Thank you, Parikshit. Did I get it properly, Parikshit?
Yes, absolutely.
Sorry, please, can you mute your mic if you are not speaking, please? Kindly mute your mic. Thank you so much, Ebere. I can't see any show of hands. Please, let's raise up our hands if we have any questions, please. Ebere here on the chat. In-depth, rich, and insightful content shared, Ebere. Thank you from Mrs. Ifeoluwa Esther. And thank you, Ebere from Fumani Mata. Any question, please? Let's take like 2 or 3 questions. Let's raise up our hands. I can't see. I don't know if there's anyone. I'm trying to look through.
Okay, someone is asking, I should recap on the pipeline activity.
Pipeline activity. Okay, so, please. Would also type as you do that on the chat. Okay.
So in sales, right? It's I'd mentioned that in fact, let me start from when I was a rookie, in sales. You will, by the time you're giving your target, okay, there's this tendency to want to run around, talk to everybody possible, everybody in your family, your friends, everybody in your church. Oh, you need to help me. I need to meet this target and all that. By the time you collate all of these referrals, or as the case may be, you find out that you're growing a pipeline, right? And in growing that pipeline, remember I mentioned at the same time, they're also referred to as leads, right? These referrals. In growing this pipeline, there are stages, okay? So you still in its cold stage, okay? You haven't, by the time you have a conversation with that referral, we'll say, so CRM in such a way, we'll do it in such a way that, it's in percentage form. By the time you have done a presentation, to the customer or have conversations with the customer, your proposal, you do a demo and things like that, it might now move you to what we call the develop stage. Right? From that, it's all still in your pipeline. From that develop stage, it will likely move to negotiation, depending on how you nurture your customer and also if your customer is ready at that point to actually buy into what you're selling. Sometimes your customer might be ready and not have the capacity. So all of these activities is what you term as your pipeline. right? So your pipeline might be 30% because, okay, you've spoken to the customer eventually, 50%, or you've done your presentation to the customer, you've shared proposals, you're following up and all that. Oh, 80%, by the time your customer is like, okay, I think I'm interested in this service you proposed to me. Let's have a conversation around it. You start your negotiation. That is where it goes to 80%, right? And that is where you turn negotiation part of your pipeline. Now, you're now moving into maybe you close out your deal, that conversion that I spoke about before, right? The conversion I spoke about before happens. Sometimes it might not happen. Sometimes it happens depending on how you nurture your customer or how you nurture that relationship. So that is your pipeline in a nutshell.
Thank you so much, Ebere. I was able to, get a summary of all, and I think I've also included that in the chat. So one more question for Ebere. One more question from Ebere for Ebere. Or comments?
I think I saw someone asking something about, is it sales pipeline difference? Sales pipeline and sales funnel?
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Okay. Please, you could speak. Rashid, you have the floor.
No, the question was the difference between sales
pipeline. What's the difference between sales pipeline and sales funnel, if there is any difference? Yes, I got that. Yeah.
Okay, so what I spoke about before was more of sales pipeline. So it typically has those stages that I mentioned, the lead generation, the qualification, proposal, negotiation, and of course, closure, right? However, it's more of the sales process, showing those various stages. However, for your sales funnel, it's a more detailed representation of what your sales process is like, when you're talking to your potential customer. So it's more like awareness, it's more like interest, that qualification. So the difference, there's like a fine line actually, is not that much, so your sales funnel will include stages like the action is when you get to that 80%, the proposal bit. The desire is when the customer says, okay, let's look at it. What exactly can I get out of this, your proposal that you're proposing to me? Interest is, of course, when you're qualifying. Then, of course, that awareness is when you are talking to customers, you're trying to generate the lead. And of course, the last one is will now be your, I think, retention, where you have closed the deal. But I want to make a point, when you talk about closing deals, salespeople should also know that it's not just to close your deal. You have closed deal. Oh, you have converted your sales. It has closed. No, there is after sales. You have to keep nurturing, because that's where cross-selling, value-added services also come in. I just wanted to put that there. That addresses it.
Nurturing after sales. Okay, thank you so much, Ebere. In fact, my notes is filled up. Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. And that was quite rich. And
Harriet.
Yes, I'm sure. Yes, thank you. Okay, hello. You have a question?
Yes,
thank you very much,
my hand off. I'm not sure if
I'm so sorry, Mrs. Ife.
No, it's okay. It's okay. You're jumping between quite a number of things. Yes.
Yes.
Good. No, if I say good presentation, that would mean that would be a downer. Just like I put in the chat box, it's actually in-depth and rich, and of course, insightful content you have shared with us today, Ebere. And super well done to you. On that. I have a number of years of experience in driving enterprise-wide digital transformation within a commercial function, I recall what Parikshit was saying about how the transition has happened from the analog to digital in this few years. Exactly.
Yes.
So it's been a roller coaster for most businesses, especially when it comes to adopting new technology. The people still, change is most difficult to take in for even people at C-suite. So it will be good because I believe we have people on this platform who also are wondering how, they probably have ideas. They've picked up even ideas from what you have shared with us today. And so how can organization now use technology-driven sales strategy? How can it be aligned with overall business objective to maximize return on investment? Like if starting up such conversation with the leaders or C-suite people, or even people who are also in C-suite, how can they get the board because technology-driven sales is not also cheap. All of these things require some funds. So
Very true.
and it would be good to from your perspective, how can folks here, the queen of sales, and it's good to see Parikshit. I didn't know we had a guy here. So how do you start up such conversation, in aligning technology-driven sales strategy with overall business objective, while still maximizing return on investment? It's going to be an investment. So how then can we maximize the return on investment? I hope it's crisp a bit.
Yeah. So, when I was speaking earlier, when I was talking about strategies for leveraging technology in sales, right? I spoke about aligning your sales strategy with business objective. So let me bring it home to my company right now. Our strategy just changed a bit. So what we have been doing, you mentioned C-suite executives as well, and how would they go about it? So what I see, the example I have at my workplace is there is this socialization with the whole organization, right? The executives are carrying the people along to say, this is our vision, this is our mission, this is what we want to do. We have included cross-border as part of our strategy. You're carrying along the people. Yes, like you said, it's expensive. Technology is not cheap, but in our language, okay, pardon me, I'm going to put it in such and I will translate. Better soup na money kill am, okay? So for you to get good returns, you can't cut corners, right? You cannot cut corners. And another example I want to give when you're talking about trying not to cut corners is, the MFBs I'd mentioned earlier, right? They are all interested. They want to, get technology-driven data. They want to key into technology to leverage their revenue growth. But capacity is also very important. Okay, so yes, you have to align your business objectives to ensure that your sales strategy is aligned with your business objective first and foremost, before you can even, because when that happens, when that alignment happens, your people need to understand so that socialization of the company, the executives, trying to drill it into the mindset of the staff of the organization goes a long way. Right? By the time you're able to get that alignment, you definitely, everybody's running and knowing, okay, this is the mission, this is the vision, this is where we are going. Your revenue, it will increase revenue definitely, because people are going out there to make sure, oh, I am part of this. I also added to us getting to what's quote and unquote the permanent site, right? So you have to ensure that your people familiarize themselves with the overall mission and vision of the company is very key. And then, I spoke about creating a sales vision statement. Those ones too.
Sales vision board.
Yes, you have to take that into consideration, right? So those are the little recap I wanted to do to address that.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ebere. Thank you very, very much. I think Noni wrote about social media also being a feedback tool. So thank you very much. And right about now, we would, if you have any questions or more questions, please kindly drop them in the chat and we will take them during the panel session as well. So we're right about now, this is the time for us to recognize our top 100 sales queens to follow in 2025. Sit back and watch. Thank you.
In the world of sales, where drive meets determination and vision fuels success, there are women who rise above, women who break barriers, shatter expectations, and inspire us all. Today, we celebrate these exceptional individuals, the top 100 sales queens to follow in 2025. These are the women who are shaping the future of sales, driving innovation, and leading with passion. We are thrilled to recognize their incredible journeys, their remarkable achievements, and their unwavering commitment to excellence. Their stories are a testament to the power of hard work, dedication, and a relentless pursuit of success. They inspire us to dream bigger, push further, and achieve more than we ever thought possible. Connect with these incredible women and be inspired to write your own success story. Together, let's celebrate these sales queens. Congratulations to all our honorees.
Congratulations to all our sales queens and to the aspiring sales queens that will be coming up, because we are here to actually empower women. So now we move on to the panel session, and I'm still your favorite host, Harriet Ogutade-Shoronke, and it's been a very wonderful moment all the way. So we'll have 5 panelists. We have Vaishali Verma. Verma has the 15 years experience and a passion for empowering sales professionals. I personally follow Verma on LinkedIn, and I can say her contents are usually rich. She brings a wealth of knowledge to our panel, from business to business deals to negotiation mastery. She's here to help elevate our sales game. The next on the list will be Sylvia Indika. Sylvia Indika is a doctoral research scholar and a highly accomplished business executive with extensive experience in fintech and entertainment and media, telecommunications, and pharmaceuticals. We are thrilled to have her share her experience and expertise with us. And next on the list will be Nwaneka Ego. Please join us in welcoming Nwaneka Ego as a sales consultant at Nestra Sales and IT Solutions Limited. Nwaneka has extensive experience helping business achieve their revenue goals. Today, she'll be sharing valuable insights and strategies on how to cultivate a growth mindset within your sales team. And next on the list will be Elizabeth Andrew. We are thrilled to welcome Elizabeth Andrew, a passionate sales leader dedicated to empowering others to achieve their goals. Elizabeth's focus will be on building strong relationships and leaving no stones unturned, which makes her a true force in the sales world. Then finally, we have Abiola Kila Onolaja. We are honored to welcome Onolaja Kila, a dynamic leader and expert in business management, sales, and marketing. Get ready to learn her strategies for fostering a growth mindset in sales team. Let's give it up to the panelists, and you're welcome. So we have question. I don't know if the panelists are online. Can you hear me, please? Let me have a feedback from you so I can know if we are all on the call.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much for giving me that feedback. Our first question here goes to Abiola Kila. Abiola, I don't know if you could hear me. Please, I just need feedback from you to be sure you can hear me. Abiola? Hello, Abiola.
Go to the next person.
Okay. Nwaneka, your question come next. You can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you, please.
Okay. You're welcome, Nwaneka. Wanika, as a seasoned sales consultant, you've helped businesses achieve their revenue goals. What are some common obstacles that sales team face when trying to adopt a growth mindset, and how can they overcome these challenges? That will be question one. Then question two, how do you now motivate sales team members who may be resistant to change or feel uncomfortable stepping outside their comfort zone?
Okay, thank you very much, Harriet, for that fantastic question. Because adopting a growth mindset is often the foundation for building a successful global sales force, in my own opinion. So, in my experience, the two most common obstacles are either fear of failure and a resistance to continuous learning. Most of the time, you'll find that sales teams can sometimes become complacent, sticking to strategies they believe work instead of experimenting with new approaches. They rather stick to what they know. There's always this confidence in sticking with what you know than trying to explore new options. These are two basic reasons why you find people refusing to act for change, refusing to change or move on to the next new thing rather. One example I would usually speak about is my experience working with a sales team. It was actually a mid-sized company that the sales team actually resisted transforming from cold calling to consultative selling approach. In this time and age, cold calling has really become something that I think one of the speakers spoke about personalizing your approach or your engagements with your customers. When you just go ahead and just drop out a cold call to your customers, a lot of times they feel like you may have gotten their contacts or email addresses from a general pool rather than personalizing it and scheduling an appointment to have a bit of a consultative selling approach with these customers. This sales team were actually used to just pitching quickly and then moving on to the next thing. But this strategy of moving them from cold calling into consultative selling approach wasn't delivering results when they were doing cold calling. So their company needed to move them up to the next thing that's that can offer them ability to gain even more revenues. So what we did was that in collaboration with their head, the owners of the mid-sized company, we introduced an approach, the role-playing exercise, to actually help them practice asking open-ended questions and also engaging in deeper client conversations. At first, to be frank, they struggled with slowing down. You could find them, somebody comes on with a content or an information that they want to sell to the customer, and they run it through without even minding if there's any form of complete communication, because we are engaging a customer, a client, as the case might be. You must be sure that the communication is complete. You're speaking, is this customer listening? Are you saying the right things to the customer? Are you paying the right attention to the customer to be able to unravel the need of this customer? So, but as they started to see, as time went on using this role-playing approach, you could see that this salespeople became a bit more observant on the rules and approaches, in this consultative approach that the company has adopted for the company. So as the case may be, they embrace this new method. Within 6 months alone, their close rates increased significantly, and they gained confidence in this new strategy. So I think for me, it's really about modeling the right approaches to the sales teams that are involved. Analyzing a little further about this situation, I often compare a growth mindset to planting a tree. You know that when you plant a tree, you really do not see immediate results when you plant the seeds. But with consistent care, the plants need things like water, they need sunlight, and they need patience most of all. Every salesperson needs patience. You know, when you're approaching a customer or when you're trying to get a new lead, you need to be patient and sow a seed, if I can use that, you know, to make sure that you grow this customer in terms of relationship building, in terms of trust, and make sure that at the end of the day, you achieve customer loyalty from whoever you're trying to engage. You know, the tree, talking about the analogy that we were speaking about before, when you give the tree all this care with water, sunlight, and patience, it grows into something strong and enduring. You'll be surprised that you come out one morning and you see this lovely tree that you've waited for the past how long, you know, blossom into fruits, into beautiful leaves, and even flowers. Salespeople need to understand that adopting new strategies is actually an investment in long-term success. It's not something you just, it's not a quick fix stuff. You invest and be patient enough. Make sure that while you're being patient, you're also improving yourself in other aspects that you'll be needing for your growth specifically. So having answered that first question, Harriet, is it all right to go into the next question?
Yes, Waneka. How do you motivate sales members?
Okay,
I'd like to resistance to change.
Okay, so how to motivate sales teams who may be resistant to change? Yeah. So talking about that one now, motivating resistant team members is one of the biggest challenges leaders face when building a global sales force. I've seen it play out a number of times. You know, it's not just about building a global sales force. You're not going to do it alone as a leader. It takes a lot. You really have to go all out to make sure that the team members you're going to work with are all motivated. You will agree with me that resistance often stems from fear of the unknown, or even the feeling that change is unnecessary. You might see a team member telling you, so why do we have to change this? Why don't we work with the plan that works? Why don't we work with this approach that we've used a long time ago? So here, in this case, the key is usually to address these concerns with either empathy and even demonstrating the personal benefits of stepping outside their comfort zones. Because a lot of times individuals need to understand that it's not just about what they have presently, that there is more ahead of them that they can actually achieve or see. Like I always do, and one example, when I was looking at this particular topic, I thought about an example when I worked with a sales director who managed a team. And this team was actually resistant to adopting remote selling. You know that in the traditional sales that we used to have some years ago, traditional approach to sales, it was basically face-to-face, and most salespeople were not used to remote selling, using omni-channel, approaches to engage customers, clients, as the case may be. So what do we do? They face this sales director faced a lot of resistance when they were trying to introduce remote selling. So to motivate them, what we did was that we started small. We did some low risk experiments where they practice virtual pitches internally. So internally to their colleagues, to their contemporaries, people they are comfortable with. So we could see that gradually their confidence grew and they began seeing the advantages of remote selling really. They became more flexible, they had a broader reach and even a better time management from, when compared to what they had or what they were at the beginning of the approach that we do. we took rather. We started also by celebrating small wins, and even the team, we made sure that they embraced every change, they embraced every win that they've achieved so far. So if you look at it critically, you would know that and agree that change is something that is constant, but it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of modeling by whoever is bringing the change. For example, if you're a leader and you need your team members to embrace change, you must always make sure that you model whatever it is, whatever new approach that you're bringing on board, so that they will see the benefits of it and make sure that and understand that there's really no difficulty in doing this thing. And by the time they start seeing these results, they will get even more motivated and try to try whatever approach that has been brought up by the company or organization or the leader, as the case may be. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Eneka. Thank you so much. And I'm sure if we have any question, I would look through the chat. We have a question here, but we'll take all of that during the fireside chat. So we move over to Elizabeth Andrew. Elizabeth, can you hear me? Hi, Elizabeth. Okay, Sylvia, we move over to Sylvia. Sylvia Ndika. Sylvia, are you on the call?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you very much, Sylvia. We have some questions for you, and the first will be, Sylvia, your experience spans diverse industries. Like we read, fintech, telecommunication, pharmaceuticals, and these industries are actually known for rapid change. How have you seen the application of growth mindsets differ or remain consistent across different sales environments, considering they are different industries altogether? So how have you seen rapid change, and how have you seen the application of a growth mindset across various industries where you've actually featured or worked in? Thank you. Then the next question will be, what role does embracing failure play in the development of a growth mindset, especially in fast-paced industries like fintech and telecommunications?
Okay, thank you very much for that. Permit me to use 30 seconds to reintroduce myself.
Okay.
My name is Sylvia Idika. I am thrilled to be speaking with each and every one of us on this platform this evening. As a seasoned business executive and transformational leader, I've had the privilege to drive growth, innovation, results, and cultural transformation across various industries. With my 50 years of experience across the pharmaceuticals, telecommunications, media and entertainment, and now fintech, I have developed a very unique blend of collaboration and leadership skills, which forms my strategic visions and operational excellence. My passion, wherewithal, lies so much in empowering myself and the organizations wherever I find myself to unlock more potentials and to foster a culture of innovation and creativity and to achieve sustainable growth. Most times we drive growth and we do not, we don't also look at the sustainability of that success that we are driving. The most important thing is also for us to ensure that sustainability is key. My passion lies in empowering myself, as I said before, and throughout my career, I've had the opportunity to learn and to lead and to transfer skills. I've driven consistent growth and have fostered value among teams. These experiences have shaped my leadership philosophy and my personal life values. So I have instilled in me a great commitment to keep progressing, not perfection, self, and to also transfer skills wherever I find myself. So I'm very excited to be sharing my insights and experience with each and every one of us today as a noble panelist in this very great community. Thank you very much. And I'll take my response to the question being asked. So I'll start by saying that the number one question says that my talked about my experience across the across industries, especially telecoms and fintech. Yeah, that showcases a lot of rapid growth. Yeah. I will also say that as an individual, building value is key, whether you are developing your soft skills, whether you're developing your hard skills, because what goes with you, what you go with, organizations exist and every impact you make stays. But what goes with you is yourself and the skills you are able to transfer wherever you find yourself. So I'll say I model a lot of agility. I get to every point where I tell myself, and what can I do differently? We have done this, we have recorded enough growth. I think we should accelerate from here. What form of innovations can we cultivate? What can we do differently? And everybody has to be inclusive to bring in their ideas. So I would say embracing failure has also been very key for me in my journey, because in embracing failure, there is that consistency, and there is that consistently in learning. You embrace setbacks and you look at it and say, what insight do I draw from this? Now, I will also ask, what is failure? Failure is multifaceted, and it depends on how an individual sees that failure, okay? Failure for some people is a setback. Failure for some people is an opportunity to grow, is an opportunity to learn, is to find out, to research, or to drive insights and say, why did we fail here? What can we do differently? So how you see failure also plays a very key role. Embracing failure have been also a very good yardstick for me, because it opens up room for problem solving. You draw insights, you dig deeper, you ask questions, you collaborate across teams to know and draw each and everyone's mind to know what they think, what knowledge they can share, and what can be done better. So that is it. Continuous learning has, I told myself that we never really have it all. We never really learn it all. So continuously opening your mind to learn, having that growth mindset is very, very essential in our journey. And that has also helped me in every rapid change I have encountered in my career journey. Focusing on progress, I will always tell some of the people who are close to me and some of my teammates, I'll say, focus on progress. You don't necessarily have to be perfect, because in harnessing or trying to figure out how to be perfect, you encounter a lot of setback and you think you cannot do it. But focusing on progress is, how can I do it better than I did it yesterday? And as you focus on progress for every day, every month, every year, you find out that you have also developed yourself. You have built resilience. You have encountered a lot of personal developments, and you have thrived in whatever you are doing. It encourages a lot of improvement for us, and it also helps individuals not to shiver or to think, I cannot do it. I know that in the midst of our journey, we come to that, we always have that, we also have that part where we have self-doubt and we have that self-belief. It happens to each and every one of us. So when you have that self-doubt, what do you tell yourself? When you have that self-belief, even if it's 1% of it, it pushes you to say, okay, I believe I can do this. I can move ahead of this. Okay. Focusing on that speaks on focusing on your progress, adaptability and resilience. In building agility, adaptability, resilience, you are someone who wants to know new things. You're someone who wants to learn new things and to foster growth and improvement. So in that, I will say, not being afraid to face challenges, not being afraid to fail, not being afraid to take up new tasks and say, I think I can do this, because in that I'll learn, I'll see more opportunities. Okay. So modeling agility has helped, because in every way, even whether you are in the same industry, in the same role, modeling agility plays a role, whether you want to grow horizontally, whether you want to grow vertically or laterally. Growing horizontally, I'll speak on the eagerness to grow horizontally. Okay. In your field of study, you want to expand your skills, you want to expand your knowledge and your expertise in your field. You can still be on the same role, but you are growing, you are progressing every day because you have that consciousness that you want to grow. And in your specific field and industry, you're expanding your skills, you're expanding your knowledge, you're also expanding your expertise, you're also collaborating and learning from other departments, other personnel, other colleagues who will also share their values, and you progress from there. In talking about vertical values, that is where you move high up, when you move upwards from where you currently are. In that, you advance to higher level positions, promotions, or executive levels, whether in the same industry or in another industry. That also enhances a growth mindset. Also, the lateral movement, when you transition from one role to another, maybe you are in this role, you say, okay, I want to also try this other role in the same industry or in another industry, but you're on that same role and you're growing and telling yourself, I want to progress, I want to learn new things. So that growth mindset pushes you to harness these three key career growth trajectory to help you scale, to help you progress, to help you record progresses, celebrate your little wins as well. So in a rapidly evolving solution, I tell myself that when we grow older and we become grandmas, technology would have innovated. How are you agile enough to even ask your grandkids, can you teach me this? You have to be open to learn, open to be taught. This is how it is now. This is what is trending. And you are easily open to embrace them as well. So having that agile mindset has also helped me in my 15 years of career, because at every stage, I recognize when it's time to say, I need to learn something new and I need to move from where I am currently. And that has helped me to also pivot myself. I know I spoke to a colleague, I spoke to a friend a long time friend sometime early last year, and I said, I think it's time for me to pivot to something different. I need to learn something new. And that can be a scary decision to make, because especially when it's not in your field, or especially when it's not something you have done before. Okay, I told someone I have sold pharmaceuticals, I've sold medicines, okay, I've sold SIM card, I've sold recharge card, I've sold decoders, okay, I've sold subscriptions, and now I'm talking money, okay, I'm talking payment. So, and they ask, how are you able to navigate this? And I say, sales is sales. The individual who is selling, you have to have that vision to scale, to learn, to keep learning. And in learning, wherever situation you find yourself, even as a leader or an upcoming leader, the impact you make matter, and how you are open to receive feedback also go a long way. If you're not humble enough to learn, you won't grow. And anybody can teach you, whether you are being taught laterally, whether you are being taught upwards or downwards. Anybody in the career ladder, you have to be open to learn from anybody and everybody, because everyone has something to impact in you on your career journey. And you also have your transferable skills to also take or impact to everyone you meet on your journey. Okay, so openness to feedback, upward, downwards, is an opportunity to build self and to learn and grow. More importantly, when I talked about agility, I'll talk about it again. Agility is when an individual and organization is quick to respond to changes effectively, to changing circumstances, challenges, and opportunities. Even when an organization is not changing, your environment, the macroeconomics are changing, the country might be changing, but your speed to changes also helps in driving this growth mindset. So what is the difference between someone who has a growth mindset and someone who is not willing to grow? Okay, someone who has a growth mindset will see a challenge or a project and say, I hope this will be interesting, I want to try it out. Okay, rather than someone who is not ready to grow, will rather say, I hope this will be easy for me. It might not be necessarily be easy, but it might be interesting. So you can also try it out. Someone who has maybe received the negative feedback from anyone, from work or from anywhere, you don't say, oh no, I can't do this, I'm not good at this. No, it's okay. This is a good time for me to work harder or to learn something more, because I need to improve on this or work on this feedback. So having that growth mindset helps us to scale and helps us to grow. Sharing, impacting, developing ourselves and learning is very key along our journey. Even when we are no longer in the career pipeline, learning never ends, and impactation, I know, never ends. So one thing that stands strong for me is shared values, open conversations, and the courage to take very bold steps forward. Imposter syndrome is there, even especially to us as women. We are laden with a lot of responsibilities and things we feel, oh, will I do this while I'm also chasing my career? But having that inclusivity to tell yourself, I think I can shoot my shot, I can do this, and I can thrive wherever I find myself. Okay, and also celebrating your small wins is a very big factor for you to record your growth and know that I am making a rapid change wherever I find myself and I'm progressing. Okay, so the second question, I don't think I can remember. Can you please take me through that again? Harriet, thank you.
Okay, Sylvia. Okay, thank you so much. The last question will be, what role does embracing failure play in the development of a growth mindset, especially in fast-paced industries like fintech and telecommunications? Thank you,
Okay.
answered it somehow. I don't know, I think, but please, you
I
can
think
go.
the question, yeah, I think I've answered it somehow.
Yeah, I thank
right?
you, because I've been posting most of what you said on chat. Spoke about agility, learning never ends. Be open to receive feedback. Be humble enough to learn. Be quick to understand when you're trying to learn something new. Have an agile mindset. So I
Yeah.
don't. So, except if you want to add a last comment on that, to that question.
Okay, so in saying that, I will also add that we have to be self-aware.
Okay.
You have to be self-aware, yeah.
Awareness.
Identify your current mindset. For everywhere you find yourself, there is a mindset guiding you. Identify your current mindset and also look around you to identify challenges and then see them as opportunities to unravel. Okay, be patient with yourself as well. Sometimes we are laden with thinking how we can do it, but one foot forward can also lead us to that progress we are already thinking about. Focus on the positive side of things. Whenever you face a failure, setback, any form of rejection, focus on the positive side of it and tell yourself, I think there is something to learn to this, or maybe I didn't succeed in this because there is something I should learn that will take me to the success story. Okay. Changing our perspectives on failure, I already spoke on that, is very key. So people see failure differently, but see it as a very positive approach. At every adult in our current life or environment has faced one form of failure or the other. That didn't make us to give up, but that accelerated you to unravel some solutions to things, and you scaled. So I would say that failure is a very welcome development. It's a necessity. It's not even an option for us as leaders, as career professionals, as salespeople. In fact, in sales, you face a lot of failures and rejections, and that is what builds our resilience to keep going, knowing that, yeah, we have solutions to solve. So thank you very much. I hope I've been able to answer.
Thank you so much. Yourself and Wamaka. That was mind-blowing. Thank you very much. We move over to the next panelist, Vaishali Verma. Vaishali, can you hear me?
Hey, hi.
Hi, good evening from Lagos. I don't know if it's evening over there, so good evening, good afternoon. And you're welcome.
It's 9:40 p.m. here.
Oh my, thank you so much for the sacrifice. Thank you. So we move over to our question for you. How can companies create a culture that encourages risk-taking and innovation within their sales team, while also managing potential setbacks? That's the first question. Did you get that, or do you want me to come again? Should I take it again? Should I take that again?
Please.
Okay. How can companies create a culture that encourages risk-taking and innovation within their sales team, while managing potential setbacks, maybe potential challenges? So how can they encourage risk-taking and innovation? Maybe thinking out of the box. within their sales team, why there is a potential setback, and they can really see it. The second will be, how do you assess whether a sales team has a growth mindset, and what interventions do you typically recommend?
Thank you so much for these questions.
Thank you.
Okay, so for the first question you have asked, okay, so I'll tell you from my own experience. I'm coming from a 15 years of corporate sales experience. And for that, I believe that one thing which is very important is empower your sales team. Until unless you don't empower your sales team through an open communication, you won't get the innovations within your sales team. So what happens is you have to create a safe environment. The safe environment in terms of you have to create an environment like your sales representatives can share their ideas. We always have a monthly meeting or a weekly meeting, right? In India, there's a culture of having a weekly meeting where we talk about the numbers, the targets, how much target we have achieved so far, how much targets is left with us. But what happens in that discussion now, the sales team often fears they don't share their ideas. We don't discuss on the what are the setbacks of not achieving their targets, or what not achieving to reaching out to their potential clients, not getting the leads generated, not having a proper funnel generation. So for that matters, I believe there should be a culture of creating and discussing an idea. Not only a monthly meeting should be your only discussion of your targets. It is more of discussion of about your ideas. Every sales team should share their ideas. So that kind of a culture that should be incorporate and develop in the meetings. That is the point number one, which is very, very important. For example, in my tenure, we do have such kind of a meetings once in a month where all the sales team members used to sit together and we focus on the brainstorming of the fresh ideas. We identify the challenges, we share our experiences. So this not only brought in innovative ideas to the table, but they also made the team feel valued and heard. You have something different to discuss and talk about. Some innovation has been there apart from only discussing about the numbers. In general, any sales representatives, okay, they always fear of judgment or a punishment, because they think if they don't share their ideas, if they don't work out, they have to face criticism, right? And this fear kills their creativity, and they stuck in their routine processes. They just follow their simple processes going on. The daily process, they have to make the calls, they have to work on the leads, they have to close numbers, they have to meet their targets. But there's no culture is there where they can discuss and share their ideas about it. So that is the one thing which is very, very important, where open idea, a proper safe environment has to be created for the sales teams and for this part. I always believe that we have to prioritize our communication over criticism so that your team becomes more confident in taking such calculated risk also. Point number two, in this, we have to, very important, as a lead by example, as a sales leader. Here, the leaders has to be very important when they share their own stories. For example, in my early career, I have lost a very major deal, a client, because I underestimated that the importance of the follow-up strategy was wrong. And I actually lost that deal because of my follow-up strategy in the initial years of my career. But what happened is I shared this example, I shared this with the team members also. So what happened is they connect with that and they take failure as a learning, and also they share their own ideas. They're comfortable in sharing their ideas also with me, their failures also with us. So that is very important, where a leaders should share their own ideas. It becomes an inspiration for the team members. They become transparent also, and it helps them to take risk also, the calculated risk also. They're easy to make such kind of a risk also. Third point, which is also very, very important, is whenever we lost a deal, we start blaming, our team members, our system, customer, whatever. But we never look into the learning opportunity when we lost a deal. We never review what went wrong and how we can approach it in a different manner. So that is very important. We should shift our focus. We should shift our focus from the learning what we have learned from this deal instead of just blaming each other. For example, if you the same, I'll go back with the same example. When you have lost a deal, you have where you have there's a problem in customization in your solution. You're not able to connect with your client properly, right? And you lost a deal. So instead of pointing out the fingers, it better you should talk to the client, take the feedback, and then redefine your approach. So that next time, whenever you face such kind of a similar deal or a pitch, you will be able to it will have a different approach because you have learned something from that failure part of that deal. So that is very, very important part. So always I always believe in that failure is always our best teacher if we approach with the right mindset. So these are the three very important points which I believe for a new innovation in the sales team, a new culture has to be developed that helps you gives you more ideas to the team members. And we always believe in doing the rewards and recognition. So in R&R sessions, every company is having an R&R session, a quarterly or an yearly. So we always give R&R to the employees who have achieved 100%, 200%, 300% of target. But there's no R&R approaches has to be done on the members who have come back with a new idea, with a new strategies. At least 5% or 10% has been achievement from those strategies, but there's no R&R has been done from that part also. So in instead of recognizing, it is okay we are recognizing the achievers also, but there's some segment should be always there where we do the R&R for the employees who comes back with the new strategies and we apply to some of the key customers, some of the small customers, and we have seen some kind of a improvement or success rates into that. So that kind of an R&R is also very important when we discuss on this innovative ideas or a new culture in a sales team.
Wow. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I hope this.
So I don't know if we have any question for Vaishali. Any question? Any question? Okay, so we move right to question. Please kindly signify by raising up your hand, and this session will be taken by Ebere. And if you have any question for the panelists as well, just signify and let's know which of them you have a question for. So I am waiting for the show of hands. I don't know, except you want me to call name. Noni, I can see your name here. Don't know if you have any question. Izinwa, Jennifer, Jane, any question? Questions, comments? Perpetua, Praise, Nicholas.
You check blessing hand is up.
I don't know. I can't, please, if you can see the hand.
Yes, I can see.
Okay, please, you have the floor. I don't know why I can't even see a show of hand there. I think it's so. Please, you have the floor. Apologies. Yes.
Good evening, everyone.
Hi, good evening.
Okay, so my question goes to Bachi. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it rightly.
Vaishali.
Apologies, please.
No,
apologies. Okay, so, my question is how to identify that the sales team does, apart from them not sharing, bringing in innovations, bringing in ideas. Is there another way we could identify they don't have a mindset? Because a lot of team members tend to put on a show that they want the company to succeed. They have a growth mindset. But at the end of the day, once 3 months down the job, there's nothing to show for it. So
I'm sorry,
apart from
your voice is breaking. I'm not able to hear you properly.
so sorry, I'm on transit. Apologies for that. I think the network is not stable. So I'm asking.
Okay, we can hear now.
Can you type your question? Can you type your question in the chat box if there's a network issue at your end, please?
Okay, let me do that because I'm on transit. Let me just type the questions.
Okay, so that's fine. Kindly type, then I would also read it out. We have a question here for Waneka. It's in a situation where you have Waneka. Are you here?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. In a situation where you have a sales manager who doesn't allow you contribute to a strategy that will benefit the company or the sales, what do you do in that case? Also, he or she shuts down any suggestion. That question is was directed to you, Waneka, from Adeife. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Harriet. It's a familiar one for me. Over time, I've had this experience once or twice. So for me, ultimately, my goal in this situation would be to find a way to contribute positively, while also maintaining a professional and respectful relationship with my manager. The first thing I would usually do is to even understand their perspective. Sometimes managers may resist your input because they feel confident in their strategies or they're under pressure to deliver results quickly. So in situations like this, I will take time to understand their perspective and prioritize and their priorities rather, by asking some questions, which could be questions around, what their primary objective would be for the strategy, or how I can even align my ideas with their own goals. Because for every manager who is a leader, they definitely have a goal, which ideally should be made known to the team members. Another thing you can do to also manage this situation, is, instead of presenting my ideas like I have done, instead of presenting my ideas as a standalone suggestion, I'll try to position them as an enhancement to existing strategies. For example, if I believe we could amplify the current approach by trying to incorporate a particular X or Z, which could potentially increase efficiency or sales by a certain percentage, or a given target as the case may be. So you try and see how you can frame these suggestions, collaboratively. And at some point when I experienced this situation, what I did was to find out what is the best time to bring these suggestions to my manager. It's important to seek a suitable time. Timing is everything, if you will agree with me. Timing, there's a time you bring a topic to somebody, maybe the person is in a haste or they are involved, they're under pressure, and then you're talking about your own suggestion. It might come off rude, it might sound like you're being insensitive. You really do not read the room to understand that this is not the time to talk about it. Instead of offering suggestions during a high pressure time, like I said earlier, it would be nice that you look for opportunities when the manager is maybe in more open discussions, or when they are trying to even hear from you, because there are situations where your manager is asking you questions, or that they're in the mood, or it is time for them to listen to you, or they're having a one-on-one with you. At such times, you might, suggest or come up with your suggestions or bring up with whatever situations that you have to make. And for all of this, make sure that you document and share ideas. Do not just say it verbally. If you say it verbally, it can be dismissed. But when the manager is not the only person in the organization, when you document your ideas, you see that the manager is more inclined to take actions than you just saying it verbally. for us suggestions, it's important to propose via emails, via any platform or that you use for communication in your organization. Now, having done all of this and you're still finding it difficult to bring up your suggestion and you think that this suggestion is in the best interest of your organization or your team's performance or the company growth, what I would usually do is to consider discussing the issue with the higher manager or the HR, because the manager will definitely have somebody who or she is reporting to. But this is after you've exhausted all collaborative efforts. You've tried to work with your team. You've tried to do all of these steps that I earlier mentioned. If you've tried to do all of this and it's still not yielding, you try to the next step is to escalate. And then at that point, my focus will remain on what's best for the company and not my personal conflicts. So generally, like I said earlier, ultimately will be your goal your ultimate goal in this situation is to make sure that, first of all, your contributions are positive and they are, to the best interest of the company, and you make sure that in doing all of it, you maintain absolute professionalism so that you are not indicted at any point. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Waneka. So we have another question. Apologies, Jane. You said you got kicked out because of the battery, and you're welcome back. Can type in your questions as well. We have a question here from Chiso. Sure, this has been impactful. I would be directing this question to Sylvia. She said, I want to know what advice would be to someone who sells book writing and publishing services on target for busy executives from a sales professional standpoint. Sylvia.
Okay, hi, I can hear you. So
okay,
I would say, my response to this question, I would say two things.
Okay.
Identify your target market, identify where they meet. For instance, if you have this kind of summit or summit where you use your target markets are, please be in attendance and connect with like minds. Build your database and send in personalized emails to these individuals, trying to, for instance, if you listen to a keynote speaker who have also made very good points, you can leverage on the learnings from that keynote speaker to say, I learned so from you, from this summit or from this conference. I think it would be ideal for you to leverage on this to publish a book. What do you think? Have you been thinking in that line? And give it as a suggestion. The person might not be ready immediately, but that has recorded that this can transfer this skill into a book to also reach more people to read and to also gather more knowledge about myself. So I'll say two things. Being where these people are, identifying your key markets, being where they are, connecting with them and reaching out to them via various platforms you think is ideal for you to speak to them and also understand and also get their attention to the book publishing, that they can also publish these books as books. Because a lot of people have a lot of knowledge, they can transfer it into books and it can reach a lot of people.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sylvia. Thank you. The next question will be, are there other ways, and this question will be directed to Vashali. So are there other ways we can tell if a sales team does not have a growth mindset? That is one. And what can the organization do if they've, exhausted all these strategies in place for the sales team and still they have no results? Vashali, this question will be directed to you. I don't know if you're still on the call.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
So thank you so much for asking this question. So my answer to your question is, if you feel that your sales team is still not ready to, accept the new ideas, so I believe they are still stuck up in a fixed mindset. They're not ready to accept a new approach from the sales team or a manager. They're not ready to go for a growth mindset. So in that situation, as per my personal experience, the organization should, discuss and share the benefits of the change. If they look into the change, what will happen? They should share with their data, with the case studies, and they have to share how the similar teams have succeeded by embracing such innovation to move from the fixed mindset to a growth mindset. Okay, they have to stop into most of the times these kind of a sales team, I remember they used to do a blame game also. They used to blame on a lost deal or a pricing, or a finance team is not supporting, or a marketing not supporting. So rather than analyzing their own approach now, they used to do this blame games. So we have to focus on the accountability and the growth part of that, where they focus is lesson learned rather than assigning the fault. So in this scenario, the kind of mentoring with your peer team is very, very important to shift their focus from the fixed mindset to a growth mindset with the positive case studies, with the data also, so that they can see how a person from that scenario has moved to that scenario and how it benefits, right? This is how we can work on to that. We have to normalizing into the feedback part also, where we can do a everyday conversation also. We have to discuss on the small improvement also, one by step also, where they can actually see yes it's happening, and then we have to slowly move from their mindset part also. I know most of the sales representatives, they stuck into the natural routine. If you remember, I just spoke in my the first question on the innovative ideas, where I clearly said that the employees who are into the fixed mindset of they're not ready to share their ideas, they're not ready to do something new, innovative part also. They're stuck into the natural, regular process also, because sometimes they fear of saying that if I share my ideas, if they criticize me, so that is one of the major drawback or a problem with the sales representative. They have a fear of sharing their ideas, because the culture of the companies, they sometimes they don't accept their ideas, they don't allow them, they don't empower them also. That is also a problem out there. So for that, they have to create a culture. The environment should be something like that. They're open and sharing the nets. That's why there should be a monthly. I always suggest and I encourage a monthly discussion with the team should be there, where only you have to share your ideas. You have to share your new plans. You have to share your new strategies also. Then only the fixed mindset can be turned into a growth mindset, from where they see, yes, there is some progress is going from step 1 to step 2. And you have to motivate such employees also. So this is my answer to your question. If still it's not unanswered, just let me know. I'll help you share more examples into that.
Thank you very much, Vaishali. I think I understood, and I'm sure the attendee that asked must have also, gotten an insight from that. But please feel free to still share more if you are not okay with the answer, if you need more insight into that. I think that I can't see more questions on the chat. Please drop your feedback for us. I am assuming there will be a link that will be posted where we can have our feedback. Just like we say, that feedback is the breakfast for champions. So please kindly drop your feedback so it helps us, plan this program better. We look at your idea, your view, just like Sylvia shared earlier, and then we can also, do better and improve on the impact of this program. So the link has been pasted. Kindly click and also drop your feedback. I don't know if we have more questions. Do we have any hands raised? Any other question? So let's go. Let's take the recognition once again. Thank you. Wamaka, the recognition video.
In the world of sales, where drive meets determination and vision fuels success, there are women who rise above, women who break barriers, shatter expectations, and inspire us all. Today, we celebrate these exceptional individuals, the top 100 sales queens to follow in 2025. These are the women who are shaping the future of sales, driving innovation, and leading with passion. We are thrilled to recognize their incredible journeys, their remarkable achievements, and their unwavering commitment to excellence. Their stories are a testament to the power of hard work, dedication, and a relentless pursuit of success. They inspire us to dream bigger, push further, and achieve more than we ever thought possible. Connect with these incredible women and be inspired to write your own success story. Together, let's celebrate these sales queens. Congratulations to all our honorees.
Thank you very, very much. I've learned a lot, and it's been quite an engaging session for me. And I'd like to say thank you very much to everyone that has attended the summit today. I therefore hand over this session to Wamaka. I can see a new message. Wamaka, over to you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Harriet, for moderating this section for us. I truly appreciate. And I would like to say thank you so much to all our guests, correlations to everyone, because I'm sure we learned something or we actually have someone to connect with on this platform. I really like to say thank you for making this dream for us a reality. Just like I mentioned, this is the first event we're having outside our LinkedIn platform. And we decided to have this on the fourth day of the year because we felt it's the best time people are planning on what they want to do for the year. And I'm sure from the learnings from our speakers, from the keynote speakers and the panelists, we also have a way to shape some of the strategies you want to, apply either for your personal business or also at workplace. So I would like to say my sincere appreciation actually goes to, first, I would like to start with the keynote speakers. I would like to start with Ebere. Ebere, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for taking time to take us through that detailed explanation about how we need to leverage tech. And I also like to say thank you to Rakhi. Yes, Rakhi is no longer here because of their time zone. I really appreciate her for coming. And because we didn't really get the time zone also well, we noticed that many people from Canada, US joined in late. And because of the timing, but we also appreciate her that despite the time zone, she was able to make it to the section. And we also appreciate her for her knowledge. Then to our panelists, I want to say a big thank you. I want to start with the host, Harriet. Thank you, Harriet, for moderating the section. Thank you, Vashali. Vashali, I know the time now in India, and also appreciate you for staying to the end of this session. And I want to say thank you to Sylvia. I want to say thank you to Waneka. I want to say thank you. I want to be sure I'm not missing out anybody's name on the panel list. Okay, yes, we had Ebere and Abiola couldn't make it also. So I want to say thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much to all of you for making this. And I also want to say a special thank you to Queen of Sales team for putting this whole event together. And to our attendees, I don't know how to say this. I want to say from the depth of our hearts, we appreciate you for attending this section, staying to the end. We start with over 50 people and having still over 20 after 2 hours plus. Come on. I don't know how to appreciate you. I want to say thank you very much. But for all we've learned from this section, please, there's something I want you to do. If you remember when I mentioned the key objective of what we want to achieve on this platform, we want to give women opportunity for them to network, have access to, thought leaders in different industries and also across countries. And not only that, also see our platform as a place they can learn. So the only way you can achieve this attending this section today, whether you are part of the sales queens, or you are the sales kings, or you are kings who have come to support us, please make sure you network with people you connected on this platform. We had opportunity to drop our links in link. For some that did not, please make sure you do that now. Reach out, send out messages like Chisom asked question about publishing her book. So Chisom, make sure that for all those that attended this section, make sure you get in touch with them. Reach out to them on LinkedIn, write messages to them. You can even decide to do one sacrifice. You can look at all the keynote speeches and see one. You can write a short, could be a 5-page ebook, and send to the person and ask the person, what do you think about this? If we can decide to publish this ebook, trust me, right? That one person will really want to connect it to more, and it could also be a start of you doing many businesses. But I want us to leverage the connections here. I don't want this conversation to end here. We learned a lot from all the speakers, and I want you to have a way to engage them. It could be for yourself, it could be for your organization. And remember, for Queen of Sales as a community, we are open for collaboration, partnership, sponsorship, whichever way you want to come in, whether you want to come in as a mentor or a mentee or part of our advisory roles, please use the feedback form. We want you to fill it. Tell us what you want. We are open for us, because what we're building here is for long term. It's not for short term. And we are ready to make sure that we get all the best advices. And remember, we've shared our plan for 2025. So we're looking out to having amazing time together. Please follow our LinkedIn page. We're also on Instagram and Facebook, but most of our audience on LinkedIn, and that's where most of the activity happens. Also, feel free to follow us on other platforms, just in case you missed out because of the time zone. And we noticed few people that had technical issue trying to connect. Don't worry, we're going to export the entire content of this to our YouTube channel. We'll export it. Then we're going to send a link again for the fact we register for this event. We're going to send you the link so you can watch all the replay. And if you're following us on LinkedIn, we're going to spotlight each of the presentations from each of the speakers. So you're still going to have opportunity to go through them. But there is something I wanted to do for me, right? All the speakers did amazing, right? I would like you to go to their page, or whichever place it's either on Queen of Sales page or their page, anywhere they posted about this event, please go and write there and tell them how you feel about the section. I want to give them open, no, don't just write in their DM. I want people to say that, you got value from the section and you like to take this from here. So on this note, again, I would like to say thank you all again for staying up to this moment. I don't know what else to say, but I'm looking forward for more collaborations and also for the impact we're going to make together in the industry. So if you don't have any other thing to say, I'd like to end today's summit by wishing you all a fantastic new year. If you need help anywhere, whether it's career, whether it's mentorship, don't forget, feel free to write to Queen of Sales community so that we can support you. Thank you all, and we love you.
Thank you very much, Wan. Wamaka. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely and beautiful evening rest. Thank you. Please don't forget to fill our feedback form. Kindly click on the link and share your feedback with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Vashali. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Everyone, bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much.